Well, it was started in 2008 as the first Harvard-wide conference organized by students on the topic of negotiations. Now in its fifth year, the Negotiation and Leadership Conference at Harvard University featured top-notch speakers and workshops to help improve communication skills and inspire future leaders. Joining me this morning to tell us more about the conference are Irma Wood, a partner at Chi Thought Bridge. Also, Andy Snider, who is the COO of Austin Leadership Institute, and Bisasor, the founder of the Negotiation and Leadership Conference. Welcome to Urban Update. Thanks for coming in. Let me start with you. This is your fifth conference. Talk to me about, I guess, some of the highlights, what you think you achieved. I believe you billed this as a life-changing event.
Thank you, Byron. Essentially, what we try to do with this event is sort of answer the question of how do we develop mastery in negotiation and leadership? How do we make the transition between or from head knowledge to actual practical expertise? And we had a number of top-notch speakers. We had Tony Robbins, we had a Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Thomas Schelling, Rich Kapor, who's a billionaire founder of Lotus Notes, Dr. Miles Monroe, and a number of other speakers, including our two guests here today, that really delivered a power-packed message and training experience for all of our attendees.
Mm-hmm. Now, Irma Wood, you were a panelist and a speaker. I guess what did you try to bring to this conference, and I guess what were the key points that you tried to make to everyone?
Yes, the key points I wanted to make were that an effective leader is an effective negotiator, that it is an essential skill regardless of what you're doing in your life. You have to be able to influence and persuade people. And we talked about what constitutes mastery, and there are four key areas. One is getting your technical knowledge, the theory and the things you learn in the classroom. But then the other is practice and performance, and then what we call inner work, self-knowledge, self-awareness, and then utilizing your emotional intelligence to put all of that together to be a master.
And Andy, again, you were also a moderator, or you were a panelist as well. What what are some of the things that you tried to give to this conference?
Well, I was excited about the theme of the conference because one of the issues is all of the things that we knew about leadership and negotiation 10 or 15 years ago don't work anymore. The structures aren't there, the hierarchy isn't there, there's a demand for transparency and for things that just wasn't the case. And to be effective, what we do at Authentic Leadership Institute is help people really understand who they are authentically and how to bring that into their practice, whether it's in leadership or in negotiation.
Why, Andre, do you have a conference like this? You do, what, 700 people at your conference? I guess, why the focus on this sort of thing, leadership and negotiation? I mean, if you're not going to be a negotiator, why is that so important?
Well, Byron, I think the key thing that we were able to identify a few years ago when we started this conference was the connection between leadership and negotiation. In order to truly be an effective leader, we believe that you have to master the skills of negotiation. And when you think about the big picture in terms of today's economy, negotiation skills are essentially critical in this competitive marketplace. We essentially look at negotiation as an economic empowerment tool. It's a tool whereby you can advance your cause, you can start a company, you can pretty much do anything that you would need to do through the techniques and strategies of negotiation.
Interesting. Now, I can't let the time pass without throwing one question out there. We talk about leadership, we talk about negotiation. Couldn't Congress have some use for this convention? What about Congress? I mean, do they need some lessons in negotiation in Congress? This deadlocked Congress that we have. Anybody want to take a crack at that?
I'll just make one comment that we run into people in business all the time who are trying to make the 1990 company work again. And we're not in 1990 anymore. And often when I hear the discussions that are going on in Congress, you say, they don't know what year we're in anymore. And there's a big gap between the model they're executing and the model we need to have effective leadership.
The one thing I notice in Congress, it seems like all the moderates, the people who seem to negotiate and want to cross party lines are going the way of dinosaurs. I guess, any thoughts on that dynamic at all? why this happening? Is it a good thing? Seems to me that it's not a good thing, but I don't know what you all think.
Yeah, I would say that one of the reasons why we actually did this conference is because we and our team, we're not happy with the way how things are working in the world today, and we thought that we could do something about it by showcasing the need for these skill sets. And we really think that society right now is sort of shaking and crumbling, and I believe that there's a new dynamic that is needed in our leadership today.
And Irma, maybe I'll give you the last word here. I guess this is your thoughts on is there a leadership crisis, or do you think that obviously you believe in your heart that there is a need for better understanding of leadership and negotiation?
Absolutely. If you look at all of the major crises and problems we're facing, they can't be solved by a single individual. They can't be solved by force or coercion, not permanently. And so it's going to take people able to sit down and negotiate effectively to solve, whether you're talking about climate change, whether you're talking about poverty. It's going to take negotiating, influencing, and persuading other people, not the standard old ways of doing things.
Okay, and we'll leave it right there. Irma Tyler Wood, Andre Bisasor, and Andy Snider. Thank you all for coming in. You all seem like very good negotiators. Okay, well.